There is a glimmer of hope for the U.S. economy. The number of people filing for first-time unemployment dropped dramatically last week. The Labor Department reports 730,000 Americans filed for benefits in the week ending February 20th. That is down 111,000 claims from the previous week. It's the lowest number of new claims since late November. But layoffs still remain high across the country. 19 million Americans are still filing for some form of unemployment insurance, and some experts are expressing concern with the accuracy of the latest report. The reason may be last week's winter storm. The power outages in Texas and several of the surrounding states could have delayed the reporting of newly submitted claims. David Bahnsen joins me now for more on the latest jobs numbers. He's the Chief Investment Officer at the Bahnsen Group. David, welcome. Great to have you with us. So we saw a substantial decline in initial jobless claims for the week of February 20th. What do these latest job numbers mean to you in terms of the current state of the U.S. economy?
I think it would be a stretch to try to find something negative in this week's update. It really is very positive. And it isn't just about the week-over-week decline and some making hay of the fact that we had the storms last week in one region of the country that could create some lumpiness in the numbers. Because if you look at the 4-week rolling averages, which is what we've done all the way through COVID, you still see a very good direction. The trajectory is going in the right way. The continuing claims also dropped. They continue to make new lows. So the story is really simple. It's not good enough. There's still more work to do. It's almost entirely in the services industry, hospitality, food, beverage, travel. We have got to get the economy reopened, but the numbers are definitely going in the right direction, and we should all be encouraged by that.
Now, David, despite this decline in first-time unemployment claims, roughly 1.2 million Americans filed new claims through pandemic-related programs. How significant are those numbers, and what does that mean for the ongoing economic recovery?
Yeah, there's a little confusion about what that means. This is a different program that was reloaded out of the stimulus bill that was passed in the lame duck session back in late December. And so you still have plenty of people that had not tapped into that new facility of federal monies. When we talk about the week-by-week unemployment, we're referring to what is administered through states. And so there's additional monies that were available, and you had more people going to tap those. But essentially, the pretty high unemployment number we have, we know, at least on a relative basis, and we know it's above pre-pandemic levels, but it does seem more and more to be really restricted in those particular sectors. And we don't think those are structural unemployment situations, meaning jobs that are not going to be able to come back. A lot of those jobs in the travel, hotel, food and beverage world will come back as soon as the economy is fully reopened, particularly in areas like New York and California.
Sure. And, as you know, the democratically controlled House is set to vote on President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief plan tomorrow. It will likely pass there and be handed off to the Senate for further review. How imperative is the additional relief in order to stabilize the economy or get it moving forward? What would that mean for everyday Americans who are struggling to stay afloat during the pandemic?
No, I don't think that it is particularly significant other than in those very targeted areas. And so to the extent that there are people who are unemployed right now, those would be who we'd all agree are most vulnerable. They, of course, have an unemployment benefit that they're receiving now and the federal subsidy that was reloaded. There is this additional $1,400 direct payment, and there's a possibility the Senate will lower that threshold. I don't think a lot of people believe that those making $200,000 as a married couple and still employed now need that additional $1,400, but I think it's going to pass. I think some version of that will stay in the bill. But the part that you ask about what's the most needed, what's the most useful to the economy, I really think it's targeted around the small business support. This PPP program has proved to be very successful, and there is some carve out in the new bill to aid particularly things like the restaurant industry, which especially those of us here in New York know has been especially hard hit.
Absolutely. Well, David Bahnsen, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your insight.
Thank you for having me.